Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a review on the Hawke Endurance. I've done a review on a Hawke before. The last one I did a review on was an Air Max, and I really liked the Air Max. So I thought, I'll get one for my Creedmoor. I had a Vantage on my Creedmoor last season, and it was nice, but I just wanted something more. This Hawke Endurance is their second most expensive scope. They're within the I want to say $600 range, and then you got the Frontier, which is the next step up from this scope, and it's anywhere from 700 to 800. But this one is pretty good for the price. There's definitely a lot of options for these Hawke scopes. I mean, tons of different reticles. But here it is. This is how it comes packaged. Held in there really nicely. Got the rings on, or the lens covers on it. So take these lens covers off. I already installed my sunshade, which all you do is screw it in the end here. You can actually buy more sunshades to stack them. I don't know why you would want more than this one, but if you wanted to, there's an option for that. So here it is. This is a 4-16, which I feel like is perfect for deer hunting, because you really don't want anything more than that. And I guess you could go with a 3-9 or something like that, which would be fine too, or a 4-12. But this 4-16 just gives you, a lot of flexibility. With 16 zoom, you can shoot long range and be able to see really good. But here in West Virginia, I'm not shooting shots past 300 yards anywhere. So, and most of the time it's not past 150. So the 4-16 is perfect for me. Of course, it's side focus, so you got your parallax adjustment. It goes from 15 all the way to 500 and then infinity. And a lot of times I'll keep mine set on 100 just because. Here's your little red dot that's in the middle. As you can see, it's in there. I'll show you better here in a minute. So the turret adjustments on here, you just pull this out and turn it. And then whenever you get it set, you just push it back into place. So that's really cool. I like how the turrets are on here. You don't have to have any tools or anything. I'm pretty sure once you get it set, you can loosen this, take this off and set it back to 0, and then tighten it back down. So you're always on your 0. But here's what comes in the box. You got your little cloth to clean it with. You got the manual on the Endurance line of scopes. Tells you how to align the scope. And then they even send a manual about the reticle, which I think is pretty cool. So the LR.8 power reticle has its own little book, and it kind of just talks about what the principles of the reticle are. So that's pretty cool. So I just wanted to come here and show you guys just how good the field of view is on this scope. And obviously if you're looking through it with the human eye, it's a little bit better. But my goodness, I've never seen a scope with this good of a field of view. Here's the red dot. And the coolest thing about this illuminated reticle was the only thing that lights up is that little middle dot. And obviously if you're looking at it with your human eye, it's brighter, but you can see it. And I think that is so cool how just the middle of this thing lights up. A lot of you probably do deer hunt, and you probably had people who will say, you'll point out a deer and they'll say, I can't find it in the scope, or I can't see it. Where is it at? And sometimes it is the hunter, but a lot of the times it's probably the scope. If you don't have a good scope on your guns, you're not getting very good field of view at all. I know a lot of scopes, a lot of cheaper scopes, have almost like no field of view. A lot of the scope, like more than half of the scope, is black rather than what's actually on the other side of the scope. That's why it is so important to have that field of view, and Hawke really does a good job at producing the best field of view out of any scope I've ever seen. Um, and that's a big part of hunting, is uh, to have a good field of view on your scope, because you're not always going to be hunting in a wide open field, and a lot of the times you aren't. Sometimes you're going to be in really thick brush where every tree looks the same, and trying to find an animal in that is not very easy whenever you can't even see out of half of your scope. So having the field of view that this scope has really, really helps in the deer woods, or in any hunting scenario. I think if Hawks were more mainstream than they are, and they sold in big stores like Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, uh, even Walmart, if they sold in stores like that, other scope companies would have a hard time, because these scopes are so nice. Companies like Vortex, Bushnell, uh, probably even Nikon would have a hard time competing with this, just because of they have so many different options. They got the Sidewinder, Air Max, Vantage, Endurance, Frontier, and they all have a different price range. The Vantages you can get anywhere from 100 to I think 300, which is like great for a lot of people. A lot of people will be willing to spend that much on a scope. They probably even have cheaper ones than that. I know they actually have ones under 100. But then you got one like the Endurance, which is 400 to 600, which a lot of people won't spend that on a scope. But if you can afford it, it's really a big jump from the Vantage. Yeah, so that's the review of the Hawke Endurance. I made this review because I've not really seen any hardly reviews on this scope, especially not exactly this one. And I feel like it needs to be reviewed because of how good of a scope it is. And I feel like a lot more people should know about this scope than they do. This is an awesome brand. This is an awesome scope, and it should have more publicity than it does. But the field of view makes all the difference in these scopes. That is the reason why I will continue to buy them, is because of how good you can see and how good the field of view is on these scopes. Hope you guys learned something about these scopes, and I hope you'll give them a try, because they are worth the money, and they're just a overall nice scope that will be good in any application. So thanks for watching.